School vouchers have been a hot topic across the state of Wisconsin as Governor Walker recently signed a budget that expands our state's voucher system. Now, a voucher is basically a check given by the state to a family's school of choice. And Wisconsin isn't the only state working on this type of education reform. Lisa joins us now to tell us how the school voucher system in Wisconsin works.
Mike, school vouchers in Wisconsin have drawn a lot of controversy, and they've been controversial across the country. Tonight, we'll take a look at how Wisconsin's voucher system works and why it's so hotly debated. School choice isn't new to the state of Wisconsin. In fact, Wisconsin was the first state in the nation to start a private school voucher program in 1990, and now it's expanding. In Milwaukee, the new voucher system removes the cap on the number of students eligible. Now 65% of Milwaukee families can take part. The voucher system is also expanding into the Racine Unified School District over the next 3 years.
If you're a low-income or middle-class family in Milwaukee, if that family opts, if they've got kids going into school, they say next year, I don't like the public school down the way, I've got a concern more often than not, it's a concern about safety or maybe the performance of that particular school, they can now, it's a lottery system, so it's not some of the complaints have been that somehow it skims off the top. No, it's a lottery system to get into those schools.
But some public school educators say while the intent of providing a private school choice to families who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford that type of schooling could be good, it could also lead to segregation.
My biggest concern of the voucher system is that there's always the difference between intent and impact, and while sometimes the intent could be considered worthy in some areas, the impact sometimes could be more to divide more on these very same issues, whether it's socioeconomics or others, that it could do more to separate than to bring together and level the playing field.
But despite concerns of this nature, beginning this fall, families in Milwaukee and some in Racine can get a $6,400 voucher to send their child to a private school.
From a public education perspective, I think it's pretty easy and logical to look at a voucher system as a threat to public education, in that the basic design is to take the school funding that comes along with the student from virtue of state aid and our taxpayers and pull it out of the public schools and move it into perhaps any entity or enterprise, which could be private as well.
But Governor Walker says his intent is to improve all schools in Milwaukee and Racine, both public and private, by offering more choices through the school voucher program.
In those two areas, it's to take underperforming schools and take low and middle class families, give them another option, not only for the option at those choice schools, but what we've found over time is that it's helped increase the performance at the Milwaukee schools in the past that were underperforming. It's helped bring them up as well. It's improved graduation rates, and ultimately I want to see more people graduate.
However, the state school superintendent says this year's Wisconsin Knowledge and Concepts exam results show voucher students score similarly or worse than their counterparts in Milwaukee public schools.
Well, I'm not sure the expansion of vouchers in and of itself is going to improve education. The data really hasn't shown that.
If they're not doing better, doesn't this data prove that the voucher system isn't uplifting public education?
Actually, no, for a couple of reasons. One, the scores overall, while they're lower than the rest of the state for MPS, they actually in the last 20 years have gone up because of the competition.
I think one of the challenges along the line in terms of competition has been, are we always comparing apples to apples when we talk about, well, we think we can do this better if we added this competition.
Another concern among some educators, do private schools have the resources to accommodate students with special needs? And can the private schools continue to be selective if they're accepting school vouchers supported by taxpayer dollars?
The choice schools, if they want to participate, still have to take individuals regardless of background or individual activities. So say someone with a developmental or physical disability still has to have an option to go to those choice schools.
However, it should be noted that according to the Wisconsin Education Association Council, or WEAC, choice schools are only required to offer services to special needs students if they can be provided with minor and inexpensive adjustments. Governor Walker says his ultimate goal is to provide exceptional schools and education in our state.
I think the key is overall reform, we don't view choice as the sole answer. We view it as one piece.
Now, there's much more to come on this topic. Tomorrow at 6, we're going to take a look at some concerns over using taxpayer money to support students who want to attend private religious schools.
All right, and Governor Walker talks about how the voucher program in Milwaukee and Racine could also benefit school districts across the state, including right here in the La Crosse area.